Hey, it's James, Parents' Rights and Resource, hashtag how I got custody. So I want to clarify this video I did. I'll put this as an original on YouTube. I was talking about, I already got a couple people who misunderstood. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I thought it was kind of obvious, but I was talking about how one of the greatest resources men have in their custody battles where they're royally getting screwed by a crazy ex is their new girlfriend or new wife. And I clearly said they're willing, like I've seen in thousands of cases where a woman loves a good man who's a good dad, and she realizes he's getting screwed and she cares enough to support him in his fight for his kids. I mean, once you decide you're going to be dealing with a blended family or be with somebody who has kids, that's the risk that you run. But there's a lot of women out there who are very supportive of their men, and I see guys still whining and crying like it's the end of the world and they got no help, and there's a woman right next to them being super supportive, helping them with paperwork if they're representing themselves, you know, encouraging them to get on the offensive and, you know, to grow a pair and all this stuff. You know, if they're slaving away and working just to pay child support, and you got somebody at home who's helping you put paperwork together or prepare stuff, even if you have an attorney, sometimes the new wife and the new girlfriend is helping that. That's all I was talking about. And I'm specifically talking about court stuff. I wasn't talking about your new girlfriend or new wife should be the dad to your kids. I was not saying that you don't get to be a parent anymore. I don't know how anybody got that out of that, but I'm here talking about court battles. I never tell anybody how to parent their kids. Sometimes people do ask me advice because I was a single custodial dad for 2 decades. But I'm not talking about, I mean, dads should fully do everything they should do. They shouldn't be pawning everything off on the new girlfriend or the new wife or whatever. I never said that. I would never say that. I'm a dad who had full custody of my daughter, and I was doing everything when the mom wasn't around and totally abandoned our daughter, and we didn't even know where she was living for years and years and years. I would never, ever tell a dad, your new girlfriend, your new wife should be doing all the parenting and make up for your absence as a father and stuff like that. And I'm only talking about willing participants. I'm not saying anybody should. Well, because you're dating somebody, you better help them out with their court case. I even said, I said in the caption in my post, this type of stuff is usually a deal breaker. Usually, people don't want to deal with going to war with the other side. And instead of you having a relationship with your spouse or new boyfriend, half the time is spent trying to help him fight his custody battle or go to war for him. I would never tell anybody you should be doing that. I'm just saying it's a phenomenon that happens, and you men need to appreciate it and then realize you're outnumbering the side 2-1. If the other side doesn't have an attorney, you could be a formidable force if you learn how to do this the right way. I've had guys who've done very well. They've had their paperwork together. I have one case where the boyfriend or fiance, you know, the woman is, I think they're engaged, but she's doing a whole bunch of the paperwork and support and help. Not everything, but she's doing a lot of it. And the other side is complaining about that, which is a totally irrelevant complaint. I've told them how to object to that and shut the other side down for that. And just think about it. An opposing attorney, one of their biggest whining and crying complaints is where the father's resource is outside of court. Not let's focus on what's the best interest of the child. We're going to focus on who's helping him do his paperwork. By the way, that's a good point to make an argument on. If the other side says, oh, you're having somebody help you with your paperwork, or I've had people like I've helped and I went to the courthouse to support them and like, oh, this guy over here is practicing law and helping this guy because I saw them talk. First of all, They don't know that. That's the personal knowledge rule. That's objectionable because of that. Second of all, it's irrelevant. If you're in court trying to figure out the best interest of a child, who cares who wrote the paperwork? What does the evidence say is best for the child? It's not the court's job to figure that out. You got to complain about that. Go complain to the bar association about somebody practicing law without a license or whatever. But also, why has an attorney got their panties in a bunch over who's doing their paperwork? Are you objecting to which paralegal at the? Are you saying, hey, we need to find out which paralegal at that law firm did this paperwork because we don't like the way that it's done? Let's go find out their name and address and subpoena them to court. No, you don't. Because nobody questions an attorney because it's all part of the brotherhood and they do whatever they want. If I go to court, whether I had somebody help me or not, it's my paperwork that I stand by, that I signed off on. If I'm a home seller or a home buyer and I sign a contract for a real estate deal, do I care which paralegal or whether the real estate agent themselves drafted up the sale or the contract or the paperwork? No, I just care about, is this a legit deal? So that's a little side issue here, but the main thing is I'm never telling anybody this is a great thing that you got going on, that you can pass the buck of your parenting to the other person. If anything, I'm very clear that if you have kids, those are your kids. If you got somebody who's willing to be a good stepmom or stepdad, great, that's a benefit. I'm talking about the support in the court battle. You guys got a great resource, especially you guys, because if the courts automatically give credibility to a woman, if a woman that you're around writes a declaration or testifies that you're a great dad, your kids love you, they run up on you and hug you and kiss you on the neck and you play with them, and that if they have other kids, I would trust them to raise my kids and blah, and stuff like that, that's a great testimony for you. You got an extremely great resource that you should not take for granted. That was my whole point. So don't screw it up. And seize use that resource for all that she's willing to offer. And be appreciative of it, because there's guys out there who are toughing it out alone and they're single and they don't have somebody backing them up and holding them down and doing paperwork or helping them do stuff when they got to take time off of work, and they got, you got a new girlfriend or a new wife who's doing that type of stuff, and plus they're a credible witness when it comes to court. A guy goes to court. I went to court. My baby's mom said, well, he can't handle the child and more than 2 hours she's breastfeeding. I was resourceful enough and smart enough to show that I had already bottle fed the daughter with breast milk that she pumped. When I went to court and got 5 days a week visitation, the judge says, you can only handle the child for 4 hours. This is not a pet or a goldfish. Like, she's chewing me out for having the audacity to say I should have the daughter all day while the mother's at work. I got to do a video on that judge too and expose that subhuman piece of garbage. So I might do that tonight. Anyway, now that I can do videos easier on here. So that being said, you guys, be appreciative of the women and also be appreciative of the hell that they have to go through by just being there when there's a toxic court battle, instead of just being able to enjoy your relationship without any interference. You should be very, very appreciative of that. Outside of your mentality and willingness to fight in your case, one of the most important things you could have is a supporting cast that helps you out in your case, whether it's family or whatever. But a new spouse or new girlfriend who's willing to be there for you through it all, yeah, and especially if she realized, the mom's a drug addict, suicidal, mentally ill, the children shouldn't have that mother, they should be with the dad, and this lady cares about your kids and fell in love with your kids as soon as she met them, and she's not the biological, but she is a step parent, and if she is involved, she's going to be involved one way or another, and she has to deal with the hate or the jealousy from the ex because she looks better than the ex or whatever. You men should be appreciative of that. You should not use her, but you should take advantage of everything she's offering And you should be going to court way more confident than the average guy because you have another resource that a lot of guys don't have. And then be thankful for it and don't blow it. Like, your relationship. Now, I recommend if you just got out of a bad relationship, you're just doing a breakup or just getting divorced, I don't know why the heck anybody jumps into a relationship. Like, when I got played by that stank hoe, Lorena Harris, in Renton, Washington, I had some heartbreak to get over because I really did care about her. And it wasn't that she found somebody better, because she went back to her boyfriend who beat her up 3 times in front of her kids and violated some protection orders. And when he caught 2 felony cases, she called the cops, started cases. And then when it's time for him to go to felony court, she didn't show up and protected him. And he might have molested her 5-year-old daughter while she's screwing her general manager at Cheesecake Factory in Bellevue, Washington, and her 19-year-old carpet cleaner, all that stuff. So I'm not upset that what I got left for or whatever. I realize she doesn't deserve my time. She doesn't deserve a good dude when she's an evil, psychotic, demonic Jezebel who needs a Mary Magdalene exorcism. And worst of all, she's a child abuser, bit her 15-year-old daughter's neck and tore some skin off. So, I was heartbroken because I actually cared. I didn't get anything out of it. Sometimes you love people just because you love them. Some of you second wives or girlfriends, you fell in love with your boyfriend and you love him just because you love him. Not because he's necessarily giving you anything or any great benefit. You just love him for who he is. Sometimes people do that. So, I dealt with the heartbreak of that. But I had to detox from everything else that came with it. Plus, she dragged me into restraining order court 4 times in 7 months. So I had to deal with that too. I don't know how you just bring in somebody or even have the time, energy. I know a lot of people, one of the main reasons, you're codependent. You can't be alone, so you need somebody there. That's not a good time to do that. It's time to go to war and fight for your kids and get that established. Just like, there's so many people out there, successful business owners, that recommend you get established in your career, in your calling, in your passion in life, build your business, build your empire, then get married. I just posted a story about that on my Instagram stories. Establish yourself where you're set for the rest of your life. Maybe not a millionaire now, but you're set in your career, you're set in your stability, you're stable. You just had a chaotic divorce or custody battle. Don't just go and just bring somebody in the middle of the chaos. Wait till the smoke clears. I had to detox from the heartbreak, which didn't take long. But then I had to detox from all the, resentment and anger from getting played and getting used and manipulated by somebody with a dumbed down, airheaded hoe with a GED. So I didn't have, I don't get it. I didn't even have any energy for another relationship. Now I'm willing to see and talk to people and stuff, but, I'm in no rush. I want to get my stuff together, as far as that stuff goes, but I don't recommend getting into it. But if you're in a relationship or it's been a while and you have a final parenting plan and the psycho ex is coming back to court and your new wife or new girlfriend is there for you, supporting you and fighting off that crazy ex trying to get custody away when it's 50-50 or whatever, be appreciative of that and, honor her for that. That's a lot of extra hell that she didn't sign up for, probably. Okay? So be appreciative for that and realize you have an advocate on your side above and beyond, whether you got an attorney or whatever. Sometimes these second wives or new moms or the stepmoms or new girlfriends, they'll get on your attorney more than you will because you'll be a pushover for your attorney. And like I said, usually these women are not afraid of your ex. Like men are scared of women. But the new girlfriend, the new wife, they're usually not. The people think I'm a misogynist or I'm angry. I'm angry about the system. I'm angry about kids being deprived of what's best for them. I got women clients when kids are... The kids are the one getting screwed. I'm all about justice for the kids. And it's just 90% of the time the dads are getting screwed. I've seen some people talk about, I have somebody who, is a friend of mine. She says she's going through a battle. And she says in her state stats of, there's more mothers getting screwed and this and that. I haven't seen it personally, but it doesn't matter to me. When I see evidence of what